it is time to go put a front end on the 1971. And yeah, I have my masks for when I'm around people. Yes, COVID-19 is a real deal thing. And you know, do what you can to protect yourself and protect others from the spread. Let's get to it. Oh man, I got a truck full of car parts. You can really only see 2 boxes back there right now, but the whole bed is filled up. I got a bunch of parts and pieces in the back seat, and we are headed out to Craig's house to basically go assemble the front end. The goal today is get the front fenders, get the inner fenders, get the front end, the core support, all that stuff into the vehicle, mounted and on. So we should kind of get an idea of what this car is going to look like with its split bumper design before the end of this video. So that's the goal. We'll see what hurdles we run into. I bought probably 10 extra sets of supports that I needed. I don't even know if they're the right ones. I hope I have all the bolts. I have like 5 different bolt kits that are with me, so fingers crossed that we have everything we need. Now, keep in mind, this is Lethal Garage. This is part of my business, so I have my mask, I am working. Is it essential? No, but I'm being very limited in how many people I work around, and it seems like it's just gonna be me and Heath, and I'm gonna wear my mask and, you know, keep each other safe. So overall, stay safe out there, guys. It's kind of crazy right now. So all that being said, let's get out there, let's start working on the car and see where we can get today. We made it to Craig's. I started unloading everything and it literally looks like a bomb of car parts went off. It's everywhere. I got Heath here. As you can see, Heath and I were mask buddies today. I'm keeping him safe, he's keeping me safe, right buddy?
Yep.
Something like that. Core support is kind of in place. It looks like the aftermarket setups that we received, they're wonky. They're bigger than the holes on the actual new core support, so that's interesting. We could see if it fits the other core support. See what the difference is. This might just be a universal one.
Might just be the holes on the core support.
But the hope is, you got Fender, another Fender. The hope is to get the front end on the car today, as I mentioned earlier. So we're gonna just start opening boxes, and we have our 71 Camaro assembly guidebook over here. We're just gonna make sure we have all of the brackets, all of the holders, supports, everything. And we also have a bag of whole front end under hood bolts. So this is for the fenders, it's for all the brackets, all the assemblies, the cowl, everything. So that's all in these. But all the brackets and braces, I have duplicates of some, which is fine, but yeah, we gotta figure this out. So the first fun thing on the core support and getting all these pieces on, they're kind of bent awkwardly, so you gotta kind of play, you know, hand loosen them together just so it's assembled, get it on the car, and then as you tighten it, they seem to line up and crimp into place and all that stuff. So it's an interesting dynamic, but it's working. So you can see this side here. Got these bolts, this bolt, and this bolt down here. Originally, half of them didn't line up, but as we tightened one, the other one lined up, and the other one lined up, and yeah, really weird, but it is what it is. So I purchased a whole box of the front fender core support. Thanks. Replacement parts from Classic Industries. And they seem to be, yeah, they seem to be lining up. So, fun fact, aftermarket panels, they're not perfect. They suck. You know, I've heard good and bad things from OER. I've heard good and bad things on, I think it was Auto Body Metal. There's another company as well that also makes panels, and I've heard good and bad things. So get whatever metal you want. Either or. We ended up assembling the inner fender and the outer fender off of the car, and then we brought it back over because it was just too hard and some of the holes weren't lining up perfectly. So it is what it is in this instance, but we got one side basically in place. She's on. You know, she got a body line, although we don't have a door yet. They're sitting at my house. I should have brought the one because I did have one done.
Did you?
Yeah.
You've only been working on it for how long?
too long. Well, come on, I talked about this. I was missing parts. Getting parts has been a nightmare, and even then I'm still missing parts, but I can add that after because they didn't send the inner door handle. So it is what it is. I can add that and the inner door handle after the fact, but we got a new fender. So one thing to highlight on your aftermarket OER parts is, oh man, you got yourself pretty good there.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get old.
COVID, he's leaking COVID right now. No! So the one thing we found out is there's these J-clips. They're gonna go on the inside edge of the fender. And what happens is, it's my other one, I guess.
The one he dropped.
So what happens is these go on the fender. Can we show? And we notice some of them don't go on all the way, or they won't line up. So we have to hog the holes out so we can line them up. Now the bolts that come with these have pointed edge because you're gonna have weird sheet metal overlapping and the bolt will go in. But the problem is it was like covering the entire bolt. So we're gonna we hogged out one hole on that side. The downside is the very front bottom one doesn't line up at all. Like it's like an inch off. It's crazy. But these ones are this side is showing the same thing. So before we start doing everything, we're gonna hog the holes out that are not perfect, or at least get them closer. We got the other fender assembled, loosely assembled, put in. Again, we ran into even more issues with the inner fender lining up with the outer fender bolt holes. So we're gonna have to do some modifications. We're basically just marking it all now. So, because this is just mock-up. We're mocking up the whole front end with this core support. It's starting to look like a car. I can't wait till we get the front end on. Holy crap, that's gonna be like, wow. We'll get there. I left Heath to record. We got Craig now with us though.
Hey.
He's a cowboy. What are you doing down there? It was funny, the guys spotted Russ in the background in the last video practicing roping. Maybe we have to do a little roping intermediate sessions in between the next video. Seems like every time I start recording, Heath's on his back. So right now we're getting all the brackets in place across the front of the car. It's really kind of just digging through and puzzling this thing. I got the front, the lower and the upper front fascia. We got the nose cone. I don't know if I'm using that nose cone or I can actually show you guys this. So Custom Works makes a one-piece front nose cone for these cars. I saw this on a bunch of cars at SEMA. I really like the way it looked. So it's a one-piece setup. It looks really clean. So I don't know if I'll end up going with this one or going with that one with the metal insert and all that stuff. There's so many options out there, but really right now it's about getting that together. And I realize there's two brackets that I believe support and mount the bumperettes that I did not bring, and I don't currently know where they're at. I think I know where they're at. I think they're on the shelf in the Lisa garage. It's just like one of those things, you think you grabbed everything, but oh wait, no, I do have one of them. Yeah, we have these ones. So I have one of them. These are the center supports for the lower part. So I do have one set. Huh, makes me feel a little bit better. But it's literally just guessing where everything's going. And honestly, I'm glad I bought like 5 of each bolt kit because I feel like we're using more bolts than we have. Just fill every hole with a bolt, right? That works. But chugging along. And your best friend in this process is a step bit. We found a lot of the holes with the coating and stuff that they put on the metal after the fact made it too small. So we're having to open things up a little bit. So step bit and a black paint marker. Buy a few of those. Okay, so we got the lower nose piece on, and that was a fun little bit. We ended up having to use, I had a secondary box of front body panels, and the front fender screws were a little bit longer and they were threaded a little bit longer and they worked better than this kit. And I know there were 2 different kits, so yeah, that was fun. If you got the second kit I had, not gonna be a fun time for you. But now we're using the nuts and bolts and we're threading in and getting the top portion of the front bumper on. I guess that would be what it would be called. hard to say, this car doesn't have a full front bumper. But yeah, we're trying to get all these pieces in. Like you can see, we used these bolts to fill in holes when we primered the car, so the tops of them are primered gray. So there's a lot of slotting that's gonna have to happen with the holes to get things to line up. We're finding that out real quick. And yeah, we're just getting all the panels in place, and we're gonna start finding all the things that are gonna have to be adjusted, fitted, and lined up. So yeah, you can see Heath over there. It's like almost, what, quarter inch off from the front fender alignment. So we're gonna have to slot that and get that to line up just right. Oh, lots of fun. Look at that. I don't know what you're talking about. My side lines up perfect. No. There, see? Perfect. I got lots of cuts. This is just a slow process. So we got the upper and the lower valance in, and now what we're doing is just lining this all up, getting the bolts in. Got the bolts tightened up here, getting the bolt under here. There's 2 front fascia bolts that connect the bottom bumper to the top. I gotta line that up and get that all in. So you can see it's just loose right now. And just get everything tight. The other thing is I gotta get the RS bumper bracket. So we got the clips back there, we got it lined up, but now I gotta slide this in without sliding the clips out. And it's just a process, guys. It's, yeah. I mean, if I was to show you this whole thing, it would take forever and you would hate me. But literally, you're sliding this piece in, trying not to, I'm using a flathead screwdriver to pry up so I can get it without it pushing the clips out. And that seems to be working pretty well. But it's just getting all the bolts in slowly but surely, getting her all positioned and jimmied around. And yeah, you can see this back corner sitting low. We're gonna have to do some modification on that bolt alignment because I don't want to bend this up. So we'll modify this bolt so we can lift it up. Again, it's just the little things, you know. We'll take a silver marker and we'll mark and put an arrow and be like, okay, we got to adjust that, we got to adjust this, got to adjust that. It's frustrating, but it's worth it. Do it right. So we didn't get the nose cone on for this video. I'm okay with that, guys. We got front fenders, inner wells, the front nose, and look, we mocked up a bumperette just to see what it looks like. Now, I'm not going to keep these chrome. I'm going to go down and have them redone. But I think this is looking really good. The biggest thing that we got to do is just a lot of adjustments, a lot of changes. Just this side was completely off. It's funny. This side's just all lines up. I mean, there was the one low side right here, but we can adjust that and change that. But not only do we have a roller that's starting to look like a complete car. So obviously a lot of these parts are aftermarket. It is what it is. We're working with it, figuring out and pushing through a lot of the little issues. If you have original fenders that came off the car, obviously they're going to go back on probably the same way they came off, but we're powering through it. So we're one step closer to finishing this bad boy. Feeling really good. Now we can rip it all apart and make it perfect, right? That's a fact. Hey, everybody, we all got our masks. PJ masks. Was it RZ masks? I got these masks at RZ masks and they're sold out, so whatever. But yeah, feeling really good. Car's starting to look like a car. I brought the steering wheel, but I don't have the bolts for it, and I hooked up the rag joint in the main shaft. I bet you I have enough bolts or nuts to make this a thing. Let's see if we can do that. With steering, guys. Little sneak peek. Steering wheel's all up in there. Well, not the steering wheel, but steering column. That's a step in the right direction. Getting there.